I'm literally crying about my hair. It gets so frustrating. If you're natural,
I low-key am starting to hate my natural hair because it just does not look nice no matter what I do.
Like, I hate my fucking hair. I hate my hair. I'm like this fucking close to chopping it all off.
That's my 1-year-old's hair with me.
I don't attract black men when I look like this. I'm gonna be so for real, I don't. The only time I feel like I get a strong pull and a strong reaction from black men is when I wear a wig.
Am I the only one who feels the most confident in wigs and weaves?
A black lady who's westernized and has all the hair extensions is straying from her natural roots, so she's not authentically black.
Please leave black women and our wigs alone.
Have you ever been judged by your natural hair, weaves, wigs, and hair relaxers as a black woman? If you have or have not been judged yet, I want you to know that this started a long time ago in pre-colonial Africa, where African hairstyles would communicate your age, tribe, social ranking, spiritual beliefs, relationship status, and well, these complex and artistic hairstyles often took several hours of the day or even several days just to complete them. So to them, hair was not just beauty, it was a way to reflect your identity, status, and spiritual beliefs. But when Africans were captured by the slave traders during slavery, their hair was shaved off completely before they were being loaded to the slave ships. And this was done to get rid of one's identity completely, so that the enslaved Africans could not easily identify other Africans that belong in the same tribe as them. The shaving of Africans' hair was the first step the Europeans took to erase Africans' culture and change the relationship between an African and his or her hair. Hair was seen as a marker of pride to the Africans, and the Europeans stripped away their pride when they shaved off the African hair. And this became an act of dehumanization, but Europeans claimed they were removing lice and cleansing the Africans. And a question that always popped up in my mind was, what did the Europeans and the enslavers do with the African hair that they cut off? What I discovered was disgusting.
This chair right here is 200 years old. This 200-year-old chair came from somewhere in North Georgia. This is human hair. This is literally human hair. Imagine how many slaves it took to put human hair in this seat.
The enslaved Africans were eventually brought to different parts of America, and of course their hair had started growing back, but they had no access to the shea butters, they had no access to the natural herb oils, they literally had no access to proper grooming tools for their hair. They nearly had no time to properly care for their hair, and obviously their hair became unmanageable by the Eurocentric standards. Europeans and other enslavers started calling African hair woolly, nappy, and also bushy, and this was a way of mocking, insulting, and degrading black hair textures. Enslavers also punished black people for their unmanageable hair, thus reinforcing the anti-blackness and the ugly myth, making African American hair as something one should be ashamed of and needed to control. Enslavers further promoted internalized racism among black people, where they often selected lighter skinned black women with softer hair to work as house servants, leaving black women with kinkier textures to work in the field plantations. This laid a foundation of texturism of the black hair and colorism among the black people, which is still present up to today. But because black people are resilient and creative by DNA, they used butter, bacon grease, and other household items to moisturize their hair, and they also did protective hairstyles such as cornrows. Cornrows was considered as a manageable hairstyle, and it was approved by the enslavers for Africans to have when working. They also used wool cutting tools for combing and detangling their hair. Imagine how genius they were. In the 17th century and early years of 18th century, enslaved African women braided escape maps in their hair, and that was done in a form of cornrows. These braiding patterns mimicked routes they had to follow when escaping. The braiding patterns would also show obstacles they would face when escaping, so hairstyles was a discreet way to transfer information among the enslaved African diaspora without being caught by the enslavers. Enslaved black women also braided rice grains, seeds, and sometimes gold into their cornrows so that they can have some food during the escape and means of survival after the escape. This tradition was passed orally and secretly among the African generation, as hair had become a sacred survival system and accorded resistance. In 1786, the Spanish governor in Louisiana passed a law that forcefully required both free and enslaved black women to cover their hair in public with handscarves, head wraps, and handkerchiefs. This law was called the Tinyon Law, and it was put in place because initially the black free women would wear their hair in these beautiful, elaborate kind of designs. They would decorate their hair with jewels, gems, beads, feathers, and anything they could find to adorn their hair to make it look real gorgeous, beautiful, and fabulous. And this became a threat to the white women in Louisiana. They were pissed and began to get increasingly jealousy of the black women as white men became more attracted to the free black women. So black women were told they had to mark luxury in their bearing, meaning their natural beauty, their creativity, their confidence, their pride was too powerful that it challenged the white femininity. This threatened the social order in Louisiana, and therefore the Tinyon Law was passed. And its intended purpose was to show that black women were seen as inferior to the white women. The law was meant to humble black women, to make them look less desirable, less human, less visible. But black women, as always, did the opposite. They styled their hair wraps with colorful fabrics, jewels, gems, beads, feathers, and ribbons so bold that they became even more captivating. Black women turned hair wraps into a whole fashion statement. The law tried to shame them and silence them, but they used fashion to speak louder. The law told black women to hide their beauty, but black women made it unmissable. So the Tinyon Law wasn't just about hair wrap or fabric. It was a symbol of resistance, pride, and cultural power. Black women didn't just cover their hair, they covered it in pride. Because even when we are being controlled, we create beauty. So from hair drops, hot combs were introduced. In order for the society to accept black women, they had to constantly straighten their natural coily hair so as to mimic the white women's hair. This made black women's hair straight. However, it only lasted for a few days or even just one day, because as soon as the hair got wet or it was windy outside, it would go back to its natural state. So black women had to straighten their hair multiple times in a week, and they faced issues of heat burns from the hot comb as it was placed so close to someone's scalp. Hot combs had become a frustration, tiring, and painful to the black women that they needed something new, something that would make their hair straight temporarily and less painful. And this led to the introduction of hair relaxers. These would give temporary results as one had straight hair for a month or even several months. However, hair relaxers left us with hair damage, hair loss, scalp irritation, and wounds. Hair relaxers ended up having more disadvantages than advantages. With that being said, the launch of wigs and weaves paved its way to the black community. Today, black women wear wigs as a protective style for their natural hair. Wigs prevent us from having hair damages and bans from the relaxers and hard combs, as the only thing you have to do is plant cornrows in your natural hair and put on a goddamn wig. It could be a glueless wig like mine or a lace frontal wig. Black women also wear wigs to be able to grow their natural hair longer. Wigs grow your hair as you don't have to constantly manipulate and style your natural hair every single day, which will prevent hair breakage, thus promoting hair growth.
This hair routine took me from this to this in 3 years. So literally all I did was wear wigs.
Yes, wigs help my hair grow.
Only wigs. Only wigs. We thank God for wigs.
Black women wear wigs because they are considered professional.
Love to hire you for this role, but we were wondering if you would be able to straighten your hair.
You mean like, why would I need to straighten my hair for the role?
We find that your hair is a bit big and it can be super distracting. So we were wondering if you would be able to straighten it in order to look more professional.
That's the only way we shall be accepted by our bosses and co-workers at our jobs. Some black women wear wigs because of medical issues, and that is self-explanatory. We wear wigs because they give us the flexibility, the convenience, the freedom.
Right now what I have on, I have a wig on right now. You know why I have this on? For convenience. So when I walked out the house, I didn't look like Don King. This is why a lot of women wear wigs. It's the convenience. It's so you can have an instant hairstyle.
And some people love to say, if you wear wigs, you hate yourself and you hate your natural hair. How is it self-hate when I decide to go outside with my natural 4C hair? You are the very same people who tell me and ask me, why isn't your hair done? How is me wearing wigs self-hate when I decide to go outside with my natural hair? You are the very same people who tell me I look like a boy.
Stop saying black girls look like a boy when they have their hair like this. Every time I wear my natural hair out, you know how many comments I get? Oh, you look like a boy. Oh, da-da-da-da. If this was a biracial girl, if this was a white girl, y'all would not be saying they look like a boy. So if you see a black female have their hair like this and they're embracing their natural beauty, stop saying they look like a boy because it's disrespectful.
How can you call it self-hate when the world taught us to hate our natural hair in the first place, starting from decades ago? And now you have some black men saying,
"Oh, I prefer a black woman who wears her hair natural."
But when they mean natural, they like women with 3A, 3B, 3C, and 4A hair. They like a type of natural hair.
Guys will be like, "Oh, I love natural hair." Da, da, da. I'm just like, no, you love a type of natural hair.
Let's
Don't
be
lie.
real.
When black men say they like natural hair, they're talking about liking certain curl patterns. They like looser textured hair for the most part, rather than kinky, curly textured hair.
You are the very same black man. If you see me outside with my natural hair, you say,
"Hey, black natural sister, I like your hair. You look nice. You a strong black queen. Keep doing what you're doing."
I'm your sister, right? But when you see me wearing a wig next time, you want to get my number. You want to holler at me. You want to be my boyfriend. Now I'm not your sister. Now I'm your girlfriend to be. Ain't that funny?
I don't attract black men when I look like this. I'm gonna be so for real, I don't. Black men do not check for me when I look like this. And I look like this 9 times out of 10. The only time I feel like I get a strong pull and a strong reaction from black men is when I wear a wig.
You say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going?
When we said that, that is not what we fucking meant, alright? You might want to comb that bitch out, put it in a ponytail, get your little hot comb and shit. I know what to do. I can get you right, but you not the right one.
You say you like your bitches natural, right? Voila, nigga. Where we going?
That don't mean be a lazy ass chick and not do your damn hair. Voila, nigga.
And are the very same men you're gonna find on the internet liking, sharing, and commenting on photos and videos of women wearing wigs. You have black mothers relaxing their children's hair at a young age because the society has never accepted our natural hair to begin with. They call it too ghetto, too black, unattractive, too nappy. The society has told black women from childhood that our hair needs to be tamed, hidden, and done. Meaning we need to fix our goddamn hair.
If you want to wear your natural curls out, cool. If you want to get a relaxer, cool. If you want to get the bust down middle part, cool. Like,
this isn't about whether you wear wigs or not. It's about why. It's about reclaiming your choice, protecting your peace, and surviving in a world that simply punishes us for being ourselves. Whether you rock a less frontal, a leave out, locks, or twists out, your hair story is valid. So is your pain, your pride, and your power. So the next time someone asks you why do black women wear wigs, tell them because we have earned the right to choose. It's not about style, it's about survival. We are not just wearing wigs. We're wearing years of rejection, centuries of judgment, and layers of resilience. And dear sister, I want to hear from you. What's your relationship with wigs? Do they make you feel empowered or pressured? Is it protection or performance? Drop your story in the comment section, and if this video made you feel seen, please subscribe, because this is where we speak our truth.